Hi y'all, how's everything? I hope you guys are having a splendid weekend. And guess what? We made it! We made it! Haha. But I know. But on the other hand, I have had a lot of thoughts in my mind. What if yesterday was actually the last day of this world? What would I be doing? What would I want it to be doing? And how weird it would have been, and like every crazy thoughts that come into my mind. And one thing that I had was like, oh man, if it was the last day of this world, I would want to be with my family, and that is the least that I would want to be. And I I could have done it, like. And on top of that, yesterday I was watching the movie 2012 again, and I had this, I had this, a different point of view on things at a moment. And I know it's so far from the reality right now, because everyone is about how am I going to survive, and my power, my, like people in the political and political field would think it's about all about power, making the decisions, making so on and so on. And businessmen would be about my money, my wealth, everything. But like, imagine, like, if it was the last day of this world, colors doesn't matter, race won't matter, which country you would come from doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter if you're rich or poor. It wouldn't matter if you're Christian or Catholic or Jewish or Islamic or Buddhist or Hindu, or nothing matters anymore any longer. It's like, it's a done deal. Like, if it was the last day, then nothing matters after all. Like, nothing, really nothing. It's about all what you have done, how you have lived your life, and what you have fulfilled as a human being. And we all are in just one ship, if it was meant to be yesterday. So, and then I think about, like, why would people really pay attention on all these different stuffs that really doesn't matter? The only thing that matters is to be kind to each other, love, faith, believe. All these things won't sound like I'm talking in a reality world. Maybe some of you might think that I'm living in a fantasy island and daydreaming about the end of the world. But if you really think about it, if you really do think about it, if it is the end, there's nothing that you can hide, nowhere that you can run. Because, you know, how would you run from a tsunami, or how would you run from an earthquake, or how would you run from, storm or any kind of natural disaster? Like, you would say, yeah, we would have hide somewhere in a cave or things like that. But I mean, if it was meant to be like the end, dude, I don't think nowhere would be safe enough. But at the same time, those things that I was saying doesn't really matter anymore. All it matters is that people having a mutual respect, mutual understanding, and working towards to a better future, so that even if one day it has to end, it would end with love. It would end with humanity. It would end with loving each other, caring about each other, and just being there for them. It would end with that. I would love to see that kind of ending, rather than, you know, being so self-centered and thinking about power and trying to grab anything that they could. Like, yeah, and dreams that were not fulfilled. I would have. I also think about, like, what could have I done better, or what could I improve, like, if I had a chance again. And I take this as like a new beginning even for myself. Like, if yesterday was the end of the world, then today is a new beginning. So why won't we start a new beginning with new hope, faith, and way of living? It would have been nice. It would have been better. And yeah, kind of strange clip, but I think you got the point that I'm making here. People these days tend to take everything for granted, and one thing that they should never take for granted is kindness to each other, humanity, and love. So I wish that all of you would have a nice future ahead and would live the fullest to your potential and your dreams. May all dreams come true.